Welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Chris Yee.
Yeah, it's another week. So here in America, where we are, the school year end is nigh.
It's really soon.
A few weeks away.
It is actually for homeschoolers, or those of us who do.
It's like you can end whenever you want, right?
Well, I follow a very strict curriculum, but we did have school Saturday. The kids, I asked
You're
the kids.
a hard taskmaster.
Now it was the kids' choice. It's like, if we do Saturday, then we're done. So they did it Saturday, which is good because my wife just left me. Heading to visit my daughter, who's being induced tomorrow. So you'll see when the gray shows up.
I hope we don't see.
You'll see the baby at some
Got
point.
it. That I'm okay with.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already been at, but my wife's like, would you like to hear how it's going? I was like, no. All I need to know is baby came.
Baby came, baby held
Total amount of information I need to know about birthing processes. In fact, I still think it's weird. Again, I don't know what's like in other countries in America. The amount of information we share about births to me is unbelievably odd. Some of the intimate details. People are like, you want to know what's going on? I really don't. Anyway, I had to.
Really?
Sorry.
That bothers you? I wish that I had known more before I had children. Like, I wish it had been talked about more.
Sure. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that again.
Like during
it's just,
and after.
It's weird. It's a weird thing to me. Again, baby comes, baby doesn't come. Whatever. I am excited about it. But,
Your wife, how many kids did you have? Were you there? Were you like, tell me when you're done, honey?
It was gross. The whole process was terrifyingly bad. Birthing a baby is not beautiful. When the baby comes, it's beautiful. Even that's not true. It's like a potato.
It like takes a week.
It's a potato, and then it comes
squishy.
I love my children. Anyhow, we have a contest for you all. This is for a copy of Lizard Wizard, which is on the wall behind us. Lizard Wizard is a sequel to Raccoon Tycoon, except it adds magic. It's a very fast-paced game, and on your turn you get one action. You're affecting a stock market, and it's not called a stock market, but it essentially is a stock market. I already looked. I will not do it. You get magic spells and ways to upgrade things, but it's very, the turns are really quick, and it goes around the table, and you're trying to win through points. You can get a copy of this. We have one copy of this. It's for everyone in the world except Middle East and South America. Sorry. But maybe you'll get a future contest. To enter this contest, you just need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word wizard and answer the question, what is the main currency in Lizard Wizard represented by blue coins? A question I completely didn't answer. Mostly because I don't actually know.
You don't remember offhand, do you?
What it is.
Yeah.
Well, in video games, mana is blue, so that's my guess.
The blue...
I don't actually know.
You
Don't write that down unless you know.
I don't know. Is that true?
I have no
I don't know.
idea.
Mana.
I never played Lizard Wizard.
Mana, magic.
With
Magi.
a K. Magic with a K.
Magic
Yeah,
points,
there's a lot of
mana
different ways to
points,
spell it.
Magic with a J. Magic with a J and
I
a
don't
K.
want to be like, I hate babies. I saw that right. No, I love babies. I don't like the process of having a baby, and I don't think my wife enjoyed it either. At least that was the impression I got. But anyway, my wife was, I never seen her so excited. And she drove off and left me today.
Well, see,
it was like Christmas time.
Your grandchild like the dividends that you get for her having gone through that process.
I think so. But basically, I was like, I'll miss you. No response. Just like, yeah.
Grandbaby time.
So there we go. Anyway, so Dice Tower here. This is kind of a normal week, except we're finally done. Finally finished with the top 100. And I bet you guys are gladder about that than anyone else.
I'm so behind on work.
So, yeah, because that's a lot of effort to do that, which does mean the top 10s are back. But we'll talk about that and what's coming this week. I do want to talk briefly about the cruise. The cruise is, hang on, Jason told me, so I need to look this up here.
One moment, please.
I wanted to give you guys some numbers here for the cruise because it is selling out.
I'm going to try and finish your sentence. The cruise is on a ship.
83% sold out.
I was close.
And that's as of yesterday. So the rooms are going very quickly. So go to dicetowercruise.com if you want to come. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. So, and if you have any questions about Dice Tower Cruise, just email dicetowercruise@gmail.com and you will have a personalized answer about that.
Ooh.
Okay, convention season is upon us for sure, but let's get to some contributors and we'll be back.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're talking about Cellulose. This is a worker placement style game. You are placing your pawns on the board to take certain actions, but all of those actions are in some way involved with the production of a plant cell, right? What does the cell do? And it's going to be building the cell wall. The cell wall is also kind of the timer in the game. That's going to be where a lot of your points come from as well. But you're also doing all the different things that a cell does. You're producing water and oxygen and all those different things. And everything in this game means something scientifically within the game.
I am kind of a Genius Games fangirl. Like, do you think that's fair?
That's fair to say.
Yeah, and so I'm always excited when they come up with something new. And I think part of it is because as a child, I actually really just struggled with being able to sink in scientific concepts. And I had trouble thinking in math concepts. It was just hard for me to keep that with me. And I really feel like these games could have helped me with that. And this one is no different. Like, I wish I would have had this as a child. And they could teach me these basic concepts. I could have played this and I would have, like, retained it. So I had that base to build upon. But that does not mean, like, the science does not make it a not fun game. Like, when you think of educational games, you think of education first, then gameplay. But I feel like Genius Games does such a great job, which is why I'm fangirling right now, of creating such a great gameplay. I mean, this is just a really solid worker placement game with scientific concepts behind them.
Yeah, it stands up by itself. You can play this game with biology professors, or you can play it with your gaming buddies. Either way, I think you're going to have a great time. The worker placement in this game is solid. The card play is really fun and interactive. You're going to get a lot of victory points by messing with the board, getting these extra actions that trigger additional actions, those kinds of things. Overall, this was a win for us and our family.
Well, everybody, if you want to hear more from us, make sure to find us on Facebook or YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Until then, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany. Hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Hey, it's Oliver, and this year in 7th grade, I've been looking at a lot of ancient civilizations. And a lot of the ancient civilizations come up in Seven Wonders. And I recently got to play an iteration of Seven Wonders, which I really like. And this game is called Seven Wonders Architects. This game is all about building your wonder of the world, and I, of course, like the Pyramid of Giza, because I like Egyptian stuff, and I've learned most about it, and alright, what I like about Seven Wonders Architects is that it's a short, quick, and easy game. Another thing I like is while you're playing, like, we're building your wonder, a lot of things are running on, like, war and stuff like that, and science. And about science, which I really like too, you basically get this token which gives you abilities that no one else has, which I think is really cool. And also there's this organization feature where you just open the box, give people another box, and they take out and set it up. It's super easy setup, super quick and easy. Another thing is that there's this cat token that you get to look at the central deck. You get to look at the card. If you want it, you can keep it. If you don't want it, you can put it back face down. And if another thing is, if you have it at the end of the game, you get to keep it. You get 2 points, so that's sweet. And I just posted a Seven Wonders Architects review on my channel, so go check that out to have more opinions on it. And with that, have a great breakfast.
All right, going back 20 years ago, we're talking about a game that you guys said you have played for once.
For once, it's amazing.
And it's ranked 635 on Board Game Geek here, and that's Mexica. Mexica is the third game in the Mask trilogy. Mike is showing you the horrific cover.
Yeah, that's a 20-year-old one.
Of the 20-year-old one, but it looks much nicer now if you get the new one. Well, no, I wasn't complaining. I'm just saying I don't like that cover. It's called the Mask trilogy because there's masks on them, and they all have a lot of similarities to them. The first one is Tikal, because they all give you a bunch of action points and you do things with them. Mexica is an area control game, but what makes this one unique is you pick the area, you decide the size of the areas you fight over.
Yeah, you reduce it down.
You're building these little canals. See, look how much better that looks. Also, the pieces inside that Mexica are amazing.
Oh, the
They're
huge
like-
pyramids that you
They're very
big.
tactile, yeah.
They feel like they're made of
almost like
hardened clay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you build these canals out and you make the areas that you then fight over, or you can split an area before people control it and stuff.
And you can use the water to move around and stuff too, right?
Yeah, there's movement.
Like that's I remember thinking that was interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
You dumbfounded Tom. Good job.
This was my least favorite of the three when I first played it, because Takao had the most theme of the three. Java has the most strategy and most decision making. Oh, now it's called Cusco, by the way, the Java. But it also has by far the most analysis paralysis.
Okay.
All these games, by their very nature, have analysis paralysis because there's a lot of things you do in them. Mexica is the most interactive. You can end up really annoyed at the other players.
In each other's face.
It's almost a mean game.
You definitely can be.
Like
You know,
can
because
area control by very nature, you're fighting.
right.
Right.
But then also the fact that you can take action to build up the rivers and just kind of someone's really trying to carve out a nice piece of land and
You just, like,
you just
go
kind
right
of carve a
through.
river through it.
Yep.
And
You now control a small piece of land,
yeah,
basically. Yeah, I like it. I like the piece. I like the components. I think this has stood the test of time. Actually, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Probably don't know your scores off the top of your head.
I don't. I only played it once a long time ago.
yeah. I mean,
So I
it
don't really have a score at the moment.
probably was a 7 because having just played it the one time that long ago, it's one I would like to revisit though, especially having played Renature, which is also a Kramer Kiesling game. The domino one with the animals. And I
I don't
remember
think they're anything alike.
Well,
Really?
they have some similarities, but I remember thinking the whole time playing that, like, I'd rather be playing Mexica because it's just,
Because the pieces are cool.
well, I mean,
Well, Renature has really nice pieces.
it does, and it's got
don't know.
area control. And it's got a lot of interesting ideas going on. But I just kind of like one of the things about Mexica is it's one of the most free-form games out there.
Right.
It's a giant board. Take over it. Take over what? Well, carve some rivers, make spaces, fight for each other, move around the river. You get to the point where you can move around places really easily by using the river, which I find interesting, Tom. I find interesting.
Memorable, I would say. Memorable.
It's fine. No, that is interesting. There's you build bridges to move over the canals too and stuff. There's a lot of cool things about it. This is worth your time hunting down, I think, to play. And you can either version. I mean, like the new version's much nicer than the original version, but the original version wasn't terrible. I made fun of the cover, but
Sure. Of the three now, you said back in the day this was your least favorite amongst them, but now do you have a...
no, it's my most favorite of the three.
It is.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's moved up. And that's again because Takao, I feel like the mechanisms in Takao have not aged as well.
Okay.
That's just a me thing. And Cusco, Java, it's such a dizzying array of options that I get it.
It's too much.
My circle of people I'll play it with is very small. Because if you hesitate at all, I don't want to play with you. Because you really could sit there and go, since you score after your turn.
Oh, so you got to maximize.
And so you're constantly
every-
like, all right, I'm going to maximize points. Where can I put this tile? Anywhere on the board. So technically billions of combinations, but not really. So anyway, that's Mexica 20 years ago. Check it out.
Hello, Proti here, your Romanian content creator, and today I will continue my series where I will talk about a specific part of a game, and today we will talk about Pendulum. Pendulum is a worker placement game with a real-time aspect where you have those timers which are coming into your row or going away, and you can just move your workers if it's no timer on that row and make the action if there is a timer on that row. So you have the workers blocked as far as the timer is there or not, and everybody is doing the things simultaneously, which is quite nice. So I think it's an interesting combination. And you are doing these worker placement actions so that you move your tokens, let's say, on the 4 specific tracks, because you want them to have it on the right as possible, because then you have a chance to win. But another thing that you can do during the game is play stratagem cards, which is you don't have to play a worker to do that. So until you are waiting, you can play those cards, which is quite interesting. And the point is, every player gets some cards from the beginning, depending on the character that they chose. but you are able, during the rounds, there is a console phase which is not timed, it's step-by-step some actions that you have to do. You can buy other stratagem cards, not the like extra ones from the ones that you started the game with. And one that I wanted to discuss, and I'm always happy, let's say, when I see this one, is it's giving you the possibility to get your stratagem cards back into your hand, the one that you played, because you play them, you have them on the discard pile, and you have to pay resources to get them back, or have this type of a symbol so that you can get it back into your hand, which is quite nice, because they are quite interesting and powerful things that you can do with those cards, and are quite helpful in the game development and in the possibility for you to win the game. They are not decisive, but they are a lot of help, let's say, to place those stratagem cards. And that's why if I see this in the place where we can buy stuff in the console phase, I always try to get with high votes to have the possibility to get this card. And in the meantime, try to play all my stratagem cards, because if I'm able to buy this, I will get my cards back. And it's quite interesting how you work around to be able to buy this card in the console phase. So this is what I wanted to discuss in Pendulum. Have a nice breakfast.
Okay, so this week I'm taking a look at a couple expansions. I'm taking a look at the new Space Base expansion, Mysteries of Terra Proxima.
Sounds very mysterious.
That's a very pretentious name for a little expansion.
For Space Base.
I'm also taking a look at the expansions for Return to Dark Tower. Me and the kids are reviewing Wild Serengeti. I'm doing a 7-game disappointments thing, so if you like those. And I'm taking a look at the Big Giant Tales from the Loop board game. Where me, Mike, and Z are doing our top 10 games we've cooled on. Games that we like less than when we first reviewed them. Maybe, in some cases, considerably less. What happened? Come join that top 10 list. That's on Thursday. The Four Squares are reviewing, or four of us squares, are reviewing Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Third edition.
Third edition, the new edition of that. I don't know who's in it. I know Z is. And are you in that, Mike?
Nope.
Roy's in that. You're in that.
I think I'm in that.
Some
Me and
people are in
Camilla.
that. You and Camille, Roy,
Camilla,
and Z
Roy. Yeah.
are
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that one. And let me look here. Other things coming up this week. I'm doing top 10 Portal games. I'm taking a look at Decorum. It's been a while since I got that one out there. We got our live stuff going up tomorrow. We are playing Age of Rome live. So that was just kickstarted a couple months ago. So
Yeah.
it's still a preview version of that, but it's coming out, I think, later this year. And Small Railroad Empires. Oh, you played that game.
We did, yeah.
You did. Okay, I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on that, which I'll find out
We have thoughts.
after this break here, because I can ask them before it comes up. So there's a lot of different things coming out. The top 10 best-selling games of April 2022 from Game Nerds. Great place to buy games, by the way. That will be coming out this week also. So lots of videos. We hope you enjoyed them. Let's keep going.
Hey, board gamers. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. Back in the breakfast, this time talking about one of my favorite games of 2022, Tenpenny Parks, from designer Nate Leinert and published by Thunderworks Games. Let's get right to the table. In Tenpenny Parks, each player competes to build the best amusement park. Think a gorgeously illustrated roller coaster tycoon type game with art from Vincent Dutré. The gameplay is simple, takes about an hour. Players each have their own player park board. We like the board sides that are different, unique starting positions, but you can play the ones that have all the same look to it if you like. We'll place tiles representing amusement park rides and concession stands, and you gotta work around the trees. It's a spatial puzzle that most people are going to enjoy. And Walt Disney always talked about plussing his theme parks, right? And in Tenpenny Parks, there's a tight economic engine that you really have to master if you want to plus it well. You can invest in various attractions and stands that increase your park's joy, awe, and excitement. And that's a good way to get bonuses like the first player token, or more money, or even an extra worker. But you really need money to do what you want in the last rounds. And there's some lanyard, an amazing board presence with a cool carousel at the top of the board, which not only gives it that 3D look, think Ohm, but it also is functional in that it allows the first player to set the prices each round. It's kind of a drilled down version of the auction mechanic in Castles of Mad King Ludwig, but I like this one better. It feels a lot more elegant. Hey, so that's Tenpenny Parks, out from Thunderworks Games right now. The combination of gorgeous art, spatial puzzly goodness, a light economy, and quick play makes this an early leader, one of my favorite games of 2022. Until next time, laissez les bon temps rouler.
All right, last week, Z and others crushed my dreams when they just pooped all over my
Your
childhood dreams of careers.
That was just yesterday.
Huh?
That was just yesterday.
That did go up yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And not really, right? But I was thinking about that. How you feel when you're the person who brings a game to the table and everyone hates it. So there's a couple of things that happen. If I'm bringing a new game to the table, I feel differently. So if I bring a new game, even that's going to be affected on how much I paid for it, how excited I am about it, and whether I like it or not, with everyone else hating it. Then the other aspect is when you bring a game to the table that's one of your favorites, you tell everyone it's one of your favorites, and
they all
at
hate it.
least one or more people don't like it or actually hate it, or they're doing the well, that's nice.
I mean, there's a different level of emotional investment going on. There's a little bit of burying your soul if you're like, this is one of my favorite games.
And someone in the group
Here,
is like,
play
I'd rather
it.
jump off the roof than play that again. And you're
Yeah.
like, all right, got it.
So on one hand, I think it's very obvious. Don't get invested in that. It's not you that they're mad at. It's the game. Although they could get mad at you if you consistently bring bad games. We here at the studio, we really strive. We're terrible at it. We'll be like, I don't want to tell you what I thought about the game until you've played it, and then we end up saying it anyway. It just comes out because we talk about games so much in here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really hard to not give our opinions of that. And when someone says, it happens mostly, I think. Usually it doesn't happen where someone says the game's awful and we play it, we're like, no, you're wrong, it's amazing. That happens occasionally. But it almost always happens the other way. I'm like, this is one of the best games I played all year. And everyone else plays it and they're like,
It's fine.
yeah. You know?
Right.
And I'm annoyed about it. And it's irrational.
It is. It's
You
like
can have Ark Nova as your #1 game, and we won't even put it on our list, and it's okay.
That's true.
It's okay.
It wasn't on your list, was it?
No.
Didn't make. Well, did you play it?
Yes, I played that game multiple. I played it live with you once.
You did play it live.
I played it multiple
Then how
times.
did it not make it? See, this is the problem.
See, it doesn't speak
we're
to me.
part of the problem. No, I gave it an 8. I like the game,
think
but
it's fine.
In a top 100, there's only room for so many 8s. You know, but
Very few
Actually,
eights.
no 8s make my top 100.
okay,
You've played a lot more games than I have.
There is that. Like 8? Not even close.
sure, but I know the feeling so well from when you show someone a movie. Right, this is one of my favorite movies. You sit down on the couch, and you're watching it. You look
You're like,
over at
half
some point.
falling asleep.
You know, there's that kind of nervous, like you look over. Are they invested, or are they just sitting there, kind of watching it? You're like, oh, this is a great part, though. You know, and
You
I
have to
feel
really
that.
hard not be like, this is good, watch.
Oh, I hate when people do that.
My,
though.
my
yeah.
dad is 100% that kind of person.
Do you hear what he said? That's going to be important later. Anyway, but I've had the same feeling with games, and one of the jokes in The Office is that I have never taught Camilla a good game, which is not true. That's definitely an exaggeration, but it feels that way sometimes. We're like, I really like this one, and halfway through she's just seething with rage. You're like, never mind. I'll cross that one off the list, and these 3 that are like it. You know,
That's true. But you know what? I think, so for us, it's not, a lot of it goes away with the fact that I'll be like, hey, here's a game, and I always tell people, I didn't design this game, I didn't publish this game. If you hate this game, tell me you. And still some people have a hard time doing that, but you can tell. You can tell when people don't like a game. That's fine. But I think the 2 biggest things are, one, we already mentioned, is when you love a game. The other is when you spent $300 for the all-in on the Kickstarter pledge. And you yourself are going to be caught up in that Kickstarter,
that excitement.
that buyer's, but not buyer's remorse, but similar to that type of thing. Like, oh, I have to like this. It's a good game. Everyone else is not as invested with it, but it's really deflating because you feel like you've wasted a ton of money.
It's a sunk cost
On
fallacy, is what that is.
Yeah, we're just talking about that, a sunk cost fallacy. Although the sunk cost fallacy is more like, I'll buy more expansions. It's got to be good.
It'll
You
get better
gotta
with
like
more.
it.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to be careful with that. If you want people to continue playing with you, you need to play something that you all like. You know, that one guy every time he's like, here's Advanced Civilization, we gotta play it, it's amazing. Like, we don't want to play a game that's 10 hours long, but you'll love it. I feel like that's false.
And I think learning, like finding out with a new game group what works for everybody and people are willing to play and enjoy, like I think that it takes a little bit of uncomfortableness. There's going to be people that don't like your games, and you're not going to like their games until you figure out what works for you. Or nothing will work for you.
And you just gotta take it not personally.
Yeah.
Again, it's not you, it's the game. Unless it's every game, then it's you.
Never break up with me, Tom, okay? Just saying.
Wait, what? All right.
Don't teach your kids how to break up with people.
I'm super confused at this point in time. Anyhow,
okay, we're done.
It's not, just go, move on.
Assalamu alaikum. If you're a fan of Hero Realm games, then there is a solo mode available for this game as well on BGG file section. Now what this solo mode is going to do is add 3 group of cards called the boss, the location, the karma cards, and you can actually make these 3 piles, shuffle them up, and then for each of your game you're going to take one of each card and place them in front of you, and that's the boss or arena fight that you're going to do against a single boss. What the mixture of these 3 cards is going to do is they are going to tell with different colored icons that how they are going to activate. You will flip a card from the market deck, which is going to tell that, okay, now the green icon is activate. And then you will read that what the boss is going to do when a green color gets activated, then his karma, what does the green icon do? And based on his location, what does the green icon do? And based on those 3 effects, they are going to attack you, do different kind of effects or damages. This is similar to the co-op mode that came officially with the game as well. So you can play this solo mode as co-op as well, even though this is meant to be played as a solo mode. But what this adds the variant is that rather than the bosses that came in the co-op mode were strict, one page, this is what the boss does and nothing else. But here now splitting these into 3 different cards, and every time shuffling them, you will get a lot of combination of variety that the same boss but with a different karma card and a different weapon card can have different kind of effects as well. And then check the solo play in the file section of BGG under Hero Realms. That's it for me. Happy gaming.
All right, so time to review other stuff. Today I'm taking a look at a website, a web-based game called, well, the website is framed.wtf, which I believe stands for, wow, that's fun.
Can you explain to me what this web is?
The interweb. You go to www.theinternet.com.
Okay, got this.
Actually, I have no idea what that would lead to.
Do not.
Don't.
Probably not great stuff.
Probably shouldn't go there. So anyway, this is a game that came out. It's just online. It came out because so many people started spinning off of Wordle. Wordle, very, very immensely popular game. There's Hurdle, which is music. There's whatever. There's all these different things. This one is based off of movie stills. It'll show you one movie frame at a time, and you try to guess what the film is. And so in this example up here, I used one so simple that even Tom could get it. You see the first picture and then you guess, and then you see the second picture if you're wrong, and then the third one if you're wrong, until you get it right, or until you had 6 chances. I really like this because I enjoy movies. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself like a big movie buff or a cinephile.
Cinephile, yes.
As the pinky up people say. But I know a lot about movies. I haven't even seen all of these ones, but you could still guess a lot of them.
You've not seen this movie, and you need to go watch it tonight.
Oh, I've definitely seen this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie this is.
This is in my
What's
top
going on
10
in those
favorite
pictures?
movies.
Is that a college
Okay, and the first
university?
picture is just an opening scene from the opening credits.
And that's kind of the formula they
Okay.
almost always will. So here's the first picture is some big like landscape type of thing.
Is the second one like a knight riding on a horse?
No, the second one is some people chasing a young boy who one day grew up to be an archaeologist. And the third one shows what every teacher wants to do: climb out the window while you have people waiting for your
Your lecture.
your lecture to here to ask you questions about your class.
What movie is this?
I have this movie memorized.
The fourth one is a car chase, obviously.
There's an airplane chasing a car. Who do you think wins?
Is that car like getting raised up into the air?
Wait, have you not watched? This is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Have you not seen this movie?
I don't know if I've seen this one.
Chris, this is on you.
I showed her Tommy Boy, okay? At least I got
That's
that.
more important than Tommy Boy.
I've seen Lost Ark and Temple of Dune. I don't think I've seen Last Crusade.
This is my favorite of all the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, really?
It's my favorite Sean Connery movie. Yeah.
Wow.
James Bond, whatever.
All right. Wow. Do you have it on VHS or DVD?
No, actually, I don't know where you'd watch this now. It's on something.
It's on something.
You
rent it on Google
I
or
will give you a
something.
password.
So I like this game here because, you know, how it works is, yeah, that first shot is almost always some sort of just big landscape thing. The second one is more of an obscure object or a small little sequence from the film. The third one, picture of the six, usually starts getting to some awkward views of characters from a distance, and then the last three are usually more kind of giveaway ones, except in this case here, right? But are you telling me by that last picture there you see Harrison Ford in a hat? I mean, you can't see it great from it, but
I bet
Harrison
if I
Ford in
could
a hat
see,
with Sean
okay.
Connery.
Sure,
right?
then I probably would guess Indiana
You
Jones.
could probably
In front
guess.
of Petra.
And you would probably at that point say, okay, well, it's the Indiana Jones I haven't seen, right? You type Indiana Jones into the search bar, and then it brings up, you know, the Indiana Jones you can choose from, and don't pick Crystal Skull. So I like this a lot because even though it doesn't give you the clues the way that like Wordle does, which letters are correct and everything, seeing more, like there's more information given in each picture, and I find that what's kind of a fun thing is it's most fun on movies I haven't seen, because I have to look for really weird details, like what's the film grain on this one? What decade is this movie probably from? How are people dressed? Are they dressed? You know, what are the vehicles and the airplanes and stuff like? Are those World War II era vehicles or modern or 70s? And so I feel like you get a lot of really fun information from these, and I like guessing the ones that I haven't seen because I have to just sit there and kind of go off like movie trailers or discussions I've heard about these films. Tom, you completely agree with me on this.
I hate this website. I like Wordle because Wordle is a. So I thought about this because I'm prepared.
It's a deduction game.
So Wordle's a deduction game. Well, this is supposedly deduction too. But here's the thing about Wordle. I know all the words. Once in the greatest while, there might not be a word. I have yet to run across a word in Wordle I didn't know.
Right. Sometimes there's more obscure ones, like, oh, how was I ever going to guess that? But
Sure, but I still knew the word.
yes.
And I'm using logic. Even if I don't know the word, I can use logic to get there. Here I'm just wildly guessing. It's not logic. It's just, did I happen to remember that this scene is from this movie? And a lot of the scenes, many times, are black, pitch black, with barely you can see anything.
You happened to look at it the day that it was like The Witch, and then like the next day was some other horror movie, right?
Yeah, but even today I got it right. And I haven't even seen the movie. I just guessed the thing they showed. And I was like, is it this? Is there a movie called this? Yes. All right. But I don't know. I like movies a lot. Mm-hmm. But this doesn't feel like I'm using information from the last one. This is just one of those games where they give you a series of clues from the most
Least
obscure
helpful to the most helpful. Yeah.
most helpful. Although in this one, for example, if you don't get it by 5, I don't think you know the movie.
Sure, yeah, and that happens, right? I have a pretty good streak on this one, or on this website.
Oh, so you can't go back and play old ones, or at least when I was on, you couldn't.
No, that's one of the things I wish you could do.
Oh, so you get one a day and that's it?
It follows the Wordle formula a lot.
Yeah, except for Wordle, I can find 200 imitators that give me all the other ones I can play.
Right, no,
Time
absolutely.
seeing.
But yeah, I like this one a lot because you say that it's just, you're not using as much deduction, right? But you see a picture of Tom Hanks. You're okay, how old is Tom Hanks in this picture? It's going to give me an idea because he's been doing movies for decades, so I can kind of guess.
But usually it shows you a bird, not Tom Hanks. Look at the first one here, desert. I'm like, okay, how many movies are in a desert? And for all I know, most of the movie doesn't take place in a desert, which in this case is true.
Well, that's like saying I guessed one word in Wordle and only got one letter correct.
Doesn't matter. I know there's a W in the word now. I've just narrowed it down.
Sure, but you're comparing one clue to one clue, right? By the time you get to the fourth clue, you get some more
I'm in
information.
a vast minority here. I'm the only person in Dice Tower Studio who does not like this.
I just don't play any of these. I don't play Wordle. I don't play
Wordle's great.
Pictionary Wordle.
Actually,
I don't play music
Poly-Wordle,
Wordle.
where I do 30 words at the same time.
I play Turtle, where I go really slow at everything.
I'm sure there's probably actually a Wordle clone
joke.
called Turtle, and it's just about different species of turtles. I would not be surprised at this point.
Oh, I would fail at that so bad.
In 10 years, no one's going to remember any of these
I don't know
games.
the difference between a turtle and a tortoise, even.
Turtle is a valid Wordle clue, and tortoise is not.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you didn't know
Got it.
either. Neither
Got
do
it.
I.
You don't either, Tom. You don't either.
That's
Anyway.
it. Let's move on.
I know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. One you see later,
what's the
the
website
other you
again?
see in a
People
while.
Happy breakfast, everyone. I'm back with a different Unmatched box this time. This is Little Red Riding Hood versus Beowulf. Now, these are sort of two unlikely combatants fighting each other in this two-player box. Now, this means that you can use this as a standalone box because it's got a board, it's got the two characters with their full decks, health dials and stuff. You can just get this box and play Unmatched. But is this set good? Well, yes. For fans of the series, I think you're going to enjoy this one. They've both got some quirks that mean they're not perfect for brand new players, and so does the board. So the board's got doors, which are really cool and create story moments for players. You can slam them and you're running away, or you can boot them down and then attack and stuff like that. And you can create these story moments because of the map. And then the characters. So Little Red has her like basket, which means whatever you last played might impact what your next card does. Really cool concept, that just an extra thing for players, new players to track. And Beowulf also has that because when he takes damage, he gets rage, up to 3 rage, and he can spend rage when he's playing cards, normally to boost their values and do cool, awesome effects, like just killing a sidekick, which is absolutely insanity. But both of them, and even the map, it's just that one extra little thing for new players to maybe overcome. I would say go for like Cobble and Fog or the Robin Hood Bigfoot set. And then if you're enjoying it, or if you just really like these characters, go for this later. A great set for Unmatched fans. Just a little bit extra for new people to sort of get their head around for that first play done. Anyway, until next time, I've been Oliver Reese, that's been Unmatched, and enjoy the rest of your breakfast.
2W? This is stupid.
Tom is addicted to the turtle game.
Turtle.
I'm not addicted to it.
No, you're
I don't
addicted.
understand it yet.
He has not taken his eyes off the screen since he discovered
Did you read the rulebook, Tom?
Turtle.
I did not. I was like, I can figure this out. I don't need to read this. I can solve this without figuring. Come on, you know I'm not the only. That's why video games aren't manuals anymore. They force you to play through a stupid tutorial now.
My very first video game I got, I think I was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
It was like a Barbie dress-up video game. My dad made me read the entire manual before I could play it.
Good man.
It was rough.
Man, I can't even remember back. I remember it was in college. They stopped doing it. They stopped putting the manuals in games, and then they started having them as a little
You can
file.
click the head
That
menu
was one of
and
the
now you can
files.
search.
I was playing
Yeah.
computer games at the time, and then after that, they're like, we're going to tutorial everything, and then people skip tutorials and they're like, you will not skip the tutorial. You will learn this game. All right, I don't know why we got into that. This is not a Tom Thinks. This is the end of Board Game Breakfast. Okay, so here's what's coming up today.
So what do you like more, framed or turtle?
I think turtle so far. I haven't figured it out yet. It looks like it felt.
I think I would like turtles.
Z is playing What's Happening at 10. I have no idea what the game is.
Forbidden Desert.
Forbidden Desert. We played Forbidden Island last week. This does make sense. Moving on. At noon, I'll be back with a live Q&A, and I think that's it for live stuff today.
Yeah.
For today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, we'll be back with not Foundations Room. It's Age of Rome. And then Marbles, probably. And I think that's it.
Good stuff.
Well, we got stuff coming up all week. We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you like this video, thumb it up. Don't forget, check out Dice Tower Cruise and check out Lizard Wizard, the magic age in the land of Astoria, where you spend purple stuff. Who knows what it stands for? Probably dollar bills. Blue. What? Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
Bluebills, I'm Chris Yee.
Is Hurdle one like an athletic version?
Stop.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production.